How you doing, everyone? It's Kevin. I'm back with another video here. This is on the commode. A lot of you people out there that have problems with your commode flushing, I'm going to try to show you how to find out if it's a plug pipe or it's just something wrong with your commode. Now, I have this is an American Standard commode right here. This is a single piece. It doesn't have the tank on the back. It has a tank, but it's all one piece. Now, this is a pretty expensive commode. You can get American Standard commode with two pieces, and they're actually pretty cheap. But this commode here probably run you right around $300 for this commode. Now, that sounds like a lot of money, but there's a difference in porcelain when you get to a commode. There's a good porcelain, and there seems like there's a bad porcelain. You know, the bad porcelain, you'll look down in your commode and you'll see that it'll get stained down in the bottom down there, and it's almost impossible, if not impossible, to get it out of there. So it's really hard. And a lot of times we use CLR. CLR is a good product. It's lime calcium deposits that stick to your commode and stuff, and it'll help you get rid of that hard water. So I'm going to show you just a little bit about what I'm going to be doing here, and let me show you how to find out if it's your commode or it's a plug pipe. Okay, now if you take your commode, let's see here. Now what happens to my commode right now is I'll flush it. Let's say there's just a little bit of paper in there. Just take a little bit of paper and put in there. Now sometimes this commode won't even flush this paper down. So let me see what it'll do. Okay, you see what happened. It didn't even flush the paper. So I'm going to let it fill up again. Actually, I'm not going to let it fill up again. I'm going to show you if this is a plug pipe or it's just my commode's not working right. And I'm going to show you, because I already know what's wrong with my commode, but I'm going to show you how I'm going to flush this. I'm going to let this fill up. It takes a few minutes to fill up. And then I'm going to show you how I'm going to flush it. You see our paper didn't go down. It should have went down. There's no reason why it didn't. I held the thing all the way down. It didn't flush. Okay, now the commode is full. So I'm going to flush this without touching anything back here. I'm just going to flush it. And I'll tell you how I do it. Just take a bucket of water, fill it up. This is more than enough water to flush this commode, and dump it in. Now, you heard how well that flushed. There was no problem with it. It flushed really well. And my problem is they put a new water plant in my area, and I get a lot of hard water. I get the lime and the calcium deposit up around this rim. And I'm going to show you what it looks like. I know this is a dirty job, but somebody has to do it. So the first thing I'm going to do to clean this commode, to get this guy to flush right, is I'm going to take all that water out of there. That way my CLR will clean this down in here too. So I'm going to go ahead and get to cleaning that out. You're going to need yourself a nice pair of gloves, and I use an old rag, just an old rag. I'm going to stick it down in there. We're going to take the same bucket that we flushed the commode with. Now I know there's nothing wrong with my septic tank or the pipes going down in there. There's nothing wrong with them because this commode flushed just fine with a bucket of water. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take the water out and bring it into my bucket. Now you don't have to do this part here, but I like to clean that down in there too. And that CLR, we didn't want to mix it, dilute it too much with the water. Pretty much wanted to get solid CLR. That's going to clean a lot better. There's nothing worse than looking inside somebody's commode and looking down in here and it's all brown and just nasty looking. And we're not really into that. I'd rather it look nice if somebody comes in and uses my bathroom. So we're almost clean. We don't have to get absolutely every bit of it out of there. We'll get what we can get out of there. Okay, we got enough of it out of there now. So we're just going to throw this off to the side, bucket with our water, and let's see. This is my little trick to this. We have, this is an old ketchup bottle. You can buy these right in town. Or a mustard bottle, like a travel container type thing. We're going to take this container and we're going to fill it full of CLR. That's probably about all I'll need in here. This will work out pretty good. And I take the lid, screw it back on, not too tight. These things aren't the greatest, but it does work. Then you can go to the hardware or your, say, Lowe's or Home Depot and get you a piece of this clear hose and just slide it down on top of this. Well, I think one side I got a little bigger. I've been sticking it on there. There it is. So now we have a hose hooked to our CLR. I'm going to show you where I'm going to put the CLR in this commode. So let me get to that. Okay, if you look in my mirror right there, you can see I got a couple big, there's 3 or 4 big holes in the back there. And then along these sides, when you come up along these sides, follow that mirror, you have those little holes. And what happens is them little holes up there are getting plugged up with, they're getting plugged up with that hard water. So it's not letting my commode flush with them plugged up. So what I'm going to do, there's a big hole up here in the front. You see that big hole right there in the center of the camera. I'm going to stick that hose up in there and I'm going to push it back to the back around this way and around this way, and I'm going to put the CLR in there around the inside of this rim. Then I'm going to go from the back and shove it up this way and up this way, and we're going to get that, we're going to let it soak for a little bit. Okay, we're going to take our hose, stick it up through one of them holes. I'm going to go towards me with the hose as far as I can get it back in there. Sometimes it can be a little tough. And I'm going to give it a little squeeze, let that juice go down in there, that CLR. You'll see it coming through right here. And I'm going to pull it back as it's going in. You can see it going through each one of the holes. It's coming out. We're just going to let that, oh, be careful with your hose, it don't want to stay on there. Okay, and then we're going to go to the other side. We're going to shove this hose up. You can see little particles falling out right there. I'm going to shove it in this side the same way. That one I got in really far. Let's see, it should come out back in here. There it is, come out clear back there that time. So we're going to pull on it just a little bit as it goes up through there. See it coming out. And we're going to work our way all the way back through there. Okay, now we're going to go in the back hole. I'm going to push it in that way a little bit. I'm going to get it to come out again. Put it in this one here. I'm going to go up in that side. Ooh, that one don't want to go in there. Try it over here. Okay, I'm going to shove this thing in this side again. See if I can get it to go a little further towards me. There we go. I got it way back in here now. I should be clear back into here. So let me, some juice out. That's come out over there. So let's pull it back. You can see it coming out there. You see the hard water coming out there? It's loosening it up already. It's loosening up that hard water. Okay. Now I'm just going to squeeze this down in this hole in the front, because there's water that actually shoots down from the front up here in the front. I'm going to break some of this out. I'm going to show you what it looks like. If you come up in this front here, I'm going to get something to break this out for you. There's a big hunk of hard water right in here. I'm going to show it to you. It's so hard that it's really hard. I'm going to have to get something to kind of take it out, maybe a tiny little screwdriver. I'll be right back. All right, I got this wire here. I'm going to try to break it out of there with that wire. It's unreal how thick this is. It's just a big mass of hard water in there. Like I said, I can feel it. Hard water is really something. Look at this. This is the hard water I'm pulling out of there. That's what's down inside there that's keeping this commode from flushing. That's pretty big stuff. And it's all down inside there. Lots of it in here. And like I said, it's not your commode. It's the water that they're putting out has, I don't know, just that lime deposit in there. And it's so hard to get it out of there. Somebody got to do it, guys. I mean, we can't just throw a $300 commode away. We have to get it cleaned out, and it has to work. Now, I got a big part of it out of there, and there's still some more up in there. But what I'm going to do is I got to go to Lowe's and do a couple things at Lowe's. My wife's working on this bathroom, and she wants it. She wants some things, some new things, so we're going to go to Lowe's, and I'm going to let this thing soak while I'm gone. And then when I get back, we'll work on this some more. Hopefully it will have been soaking long enough that this guy will flush good. A good hard flush. But you would be surprised at the garbage that's coming out of there. And that stuff there, we got to get out of there. If we don't, it'll eventually, the commode won't work at all if we don't get it out of there. So we're going to let this guy soak a little bit, and then we'll get you guys back in here and we'll show you this guy flushed good. Now, I'll show you here these holes that go up around the lip. Now, we know they were plugged a little bit too. What we're going to do is I got this piece of wire bent at an angle. I'm going to find each one of them holes, and I'm going to go ahead and poke that wire in through there so it cleans the hard water that would be inside them. And these are kind of like in an angle. They go in an angle all the way around your commode. So you're kind of putting it in like this, poking holes up through there so all that hard water breaks loose in there. And when we get back from Lowe's, we'll clean all this one more time, and we'll show you it flush. So hang in there, guys. We're going to have a good flushing commode here when we get done. Well, we went to Lowe's, we got back, and I got a couple little brushes here I had in the garage. I'm going to use this to go up inside this bottom piece here, where all that big chunks of stuff was. You do got to watch, because these wires, this in here is like a I'm going to use it on top. It won't scratch the porcelain. This in here is going to scratch the porcelain, so you have to be careful what you're scratching down in there. Now, what I'm scratching is up in this hole here, so it's not going to be that big of a deal. I just want to try to get all that stuff out of there, because there's so much of that in there. And if you could get it, the more you get out, the better this guy's going to flush. There's a big hunk right on the bottom down there. If I could get that out of there. Now inside here is basically all CLR, and it's supposed to be breaking that stuff loose for me. Here I broke a big piece with my finger. I could feel it down in there. It's a shame to have to do this just because of the hard water, but if you don't, your commode's going to stop flushing. And you know, this is a big thing for me. I need a commode. I guess it's a big thing for all of us. Okay, I pretty much got most of that out of there. I can still feel a little bit rough right there on the bottom. Now I'm going to take this brush here, it's a softer brush, and I'm going to take it up in these holes in the back here. And I'm going to try to get all these guys cleaned out real good. Just through the big ones. I run the wire through the small ones. Hopefully whatever's broke loose there will fall down. We got a few holes in the front. So we pretty much got, this commode is actually pretty good, I think. I'm going to run that brush around the bottom. Now, I'm going to go ahead and take the same rag we took the water out with before, and I'm going to pull this CLR out of here. I have a septic tank, I'm not hooked on the sewage or anything. I really don't want to put the chemicals down in my septic tank, so I'm going to soak this guy up. I'm going to let it soak it out of here. I'm not going to put it in my tank. And you can see, look how much stuff is in there. It's just so much hard water, unreal. There's a lot of hard water in there, so hopefully this worked out good and we'll be able to flush it. And it should flush like a normal commode now. After cleaning it, it looks dirtier than it was before I cleaned it, so. See, that's that hard water. It's like concrete. Alright, I think we got more than enough out of there. So what I'm going to do now is go ahead and flush this commode. Get these guys off here. And that's just going to basically let the commode fill up right now. I'll be right back. I'll let that guy fill up. Alright, I'm going to go change my gloves and clean this commode up a little bit. We got it all dirty again. So now we're going to throw some paper in there. We're going to see if this guy will flush. There, throw some paper in there. Let's see how she goes in there. Okay, we're going to do it again. We're going to flush this guy again as soon as it fills up. It seemed like it flushed a lot better that time. It did take the paper down. So we're going to try it again. It just gets so plugged up with stuff, it just won't flush. That hard water just plugs it all up. So we'll see how it does after it fills up one more time. Now the first time we flushed it, it wouldn't even take that little bit of paper down. And it should be able to flush this pretty easy. Alright, let's do it again. Okay, that flushed a whole lot better than what it did before. And you guys seen the garbage that I pulled out there. There's a lot of hard water in this commode. Now, it's not to say this thing won't need cleaned in a month or so. You know, it just builds up. It builds up a lot faster now from that new plant. So, yeah, and I don't understand why. I'm sure I can get a water softener put in. I'm sure that'd be a few $1,000s, but it'd save me from having to do this all the time. Okay, don't forget, now your big test is to find out whether it's the commode or whether it's the pipe, is to dump a bucket of water in it. If you dump a bucket of water in your commode and it flushes it, that means there's nothing caught in your pipe. What'll happen is if you dump a bucket of water in there and it's in your pipe, your commode will just fill up the amount of water that you put in. So then you know that it's plugged down inside the pipe, not in the commode. I knew mine was not plugged in the pipe because every time I did it, it would flush. So I knew it was up in my commode. That's how I knew the difference between the commode and the pipe. So don't forget that when you guys are working on your commode. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Don't forget to subscribe. Leave me a thumbs up, thumbs down, or a comment if you'd like. Click the little bell down there if you want alerts when I put up a new video. Hey, till next time.